So often I have people come up to me, my clients, I should say, and they come, oh no, I have to, I have to make this change. Like I really, I need to try some new exercise, or I'm trying a new exercise, or I need to make an adjustment, and the plan's not working. And my first instinct always is, okay, relax, breathe. Because when someone is in that state, they're not thinking here, they're feeling. It's an emotional response, an emotional reaction, not typically a logical one. So what I need to do in that instant is take you out of your emotional brain and put you into your logical brain. Because your logical brain is like your best friend. When I talked about your best friend rule, they're not going to say things that don't really line up well. They're going to give you like more of the facts, or help you to see the forest for the trees, right? So what I want you to do is think about, take a step back here. If a plan is not working, the first thing is not actually to change the plan. It's to assess the plan in terms of, are you doing the plan? Are you doing the things? Or is there an aspect of the plan that needs a slight adjustment? Maybe it has to be tweaked in another way, or is there something else, right? And most times, 9 times out of 10, it's really just making a small adjustment what you're doing right now, and it's not going off into a whole new direction, trying something new. But more often than not, it's actually the putting the plan into action that's the issue. It's the consistency. It's the fact that you're probably not as consistent with doing the things as you think you are. And sometimes that's an accuracy thing, and most often it's a consistency thing. And one of the best ways, always, and you guys know this by now, is that I ask you to track. And the reason I ask you to track, it doesn't rely on your memory anymore. It's there, it's in front of your face, it's factual, but it helps you, A, to stay in track, but B, to look back for a number of reasons. You might look back to see if something is triggering some sort of a response for you, like let's say a digestive issue, or the days after you eat a certain way or a certain thing, you're less likely to do whatever you need to be doing. Maybe it affects your sleep. On the days that you have alcohol, maybe your sleep isn't as good as it should be or could be, right? So what you need to do, and for always, will always be tracking, because it helps you to track the inputs as well as figure out the outputs. So we don't know if you're doing well in the plan unless you're tracking in some way. And I get the argument for an intuitive style, feel it, just have it. And what I'd like is for it to become second nature. But the unfortunate point is that we no longer live in a time and place that there's not outside influences on our intuition, our intuitiveness, our feeling of it. I'll put that aside for now. The point here is that I want you to be consistent more than have to change something. So if you're currently you're not thinking that you're seeing the change that you're looking to see, and you're feeling like you need to make a change in your plan, the first thing you have to look back is, how consistent are you applying all these basics? Where are you cutting corners? Where are you skipping things? Where were you once doing something and you're no longer doing it? Where were you thinking that was important before, but now it's not longer important? Where were you convincing yourself that you should be doing it a new way compared to the way that you were doing it before? That was working well. You don't try to fix it if it's not broke. You probably heard that saying before. But again, the point here is trying to be more consistent more than anything else. If you're not seeing the changes you want to change, first test your consistency. How consistent have you been employing the basics? And once you've done that, then we can look at some of the details. But I feel, and I have learned, and I've experienced, and I've seen through coaching so many people, that more often than not, it's this testing of this compliance, this consistency compliance that we have to look at. Because more often than not, you're probably straying about, there's a little bit of a drift, if you want to call it, away from the things that you should be doing. And that usually will solve your issue. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in the future. But for today, just remember, it's probably more so to do with consistency. So look back and test your consistency and see if that's what it might be.